I had always trusted my wife, Vanessa. For years, I believed our marriage was solid. We had 2 kids, a beautiful home, and what seemed like a normal, happy life. But over the past few months, small inconsistencies had begun to bother me: late nights at work, deleted text messages, and a subtle distance in her behavior. I tried to ignore it at first, chalking it up to stress or fatigue. But deep down, something told me that things weren't as perfect as they seemed. It started with curiosity. I began paying attention to little details, checking the messages she left on her phone when she stepped out, noticing patterns in her absences. At first, I told myself I was imagining things. But then I found something I couldn't ignore: an email on her computer, accidentally left open, from a man I barely knew, filled with intimate words, plans to meet, and clear evidence of an affair. My stomach sank. I didn't want to believe it, but the proof was undeniable. I decided to investigate further. Over the next few days, I quietly searched, collecting texts, photos, and emails, king-size proof of her betrayal. Every message, every photo, every plan she had made behind my back stacked into a mountain of undeniable evidence. I saved everything meticulously, making sure I had complete records. This wasn't about paranoia anymore. This was about facing reality and preparing for what had to come next. One evening, I came home earlier than expected. Vanessa thought I was still at work, completely unaware that I had been following her digital trail for weeks. As I entered our home, I noticed her car wasn't in the driveway, but then I heard sounds upstairs: low laughter, voices too intimate for casual conversation. My heart pounded, my palms grew sweaty, but I knew exactly what I had to do. I crept up the stairs, silent as a shadow, and pushed open our bedroom door. There they were, Vanessa and another man, engaged in a kiss that confirmed everything I had discovered. I froze for a moment, shocked, my jaw dropping. The betrayal wasn't just words on a screen anymore. It was right in front of me, happening in the very home we had built together. I didn't shout or confront them immediately. Instead, I calmly pulled out my phone and began recording, documenting the scene for the final proof I would need. I wanted this moment preserved, not for spectacle, but as undeniable evidence of the years of lies, betrayal, and deception. The weight of her actions pressed down on me, but I refused to let it turn into a blind rage. My revenge would be calculated, methodical, and absolute. When they finally noticed me, panic flashed across their faces. Vanessa scrambled for excuses, stammering, trying to deny or explain. But I didn't need explanations. I had everything I needed. I calmly instructed them to leave and made it clear that their presence in our home was over. They fled, guilt written across their faces, leaving me alone with the realization of what had been done. The next day, I contacted a lawyer. Divorce papers were drawn up, custody arrangements were planned, and financial protections were put in place. Every document referenced the overwhelming evidence I had gathered. Vanessa had destroyed her credibility, both with me and within our family, and I was determined to make sure she faced the consequences of her actions fully. I also ensured that her social circle and close friends were made aware of the betrayal. I shared the evidence discreetly with those who mattered most, not out of malice, but to ensure that she could not manipulate anyone into taking her side. The king-size proofs I had collected left no room for doubt or excuse. Her web of lies unraveled completely, exposing her for the choices she had made. Court proceedings followed swiftly. The evidence I presented, messages, emails, photos, and video recordings, left no room for debate. Custody of our children was awarded to me primarily, with her visitation supervised. The court recognized the seriousness of her betrayal and the impact it had on the stability and emotional safety of our family. She had gambled with her marriage, her children, and her reputation, and the consequences were clear. Vanessa tried to plead, to explain, to salvage what was left, but it was too late. The betrayal was public within our private circle and legally undeniable. My revenge had been quiet, deliberate, and devastatingly effective. It was not about drama. It was about reclaiming control, protecting my children, and ensuring that she could not continue her life unpunished. In the months that followed, I focused on rebuilding. Our home, once a place of betrayal, became a sanctuary again. I established routines for my children, providing stability and security. School events, weekend activities, and bedtime rituals became central, reinforcing a sense of normalcy and love. Watching my children thrive, laugh, and grow reminded me why I had acted decisively and why I refused to let Vanessa's betrayal affect their lives further. Vanessa faded into the background. Attempts to contact me outside legal boundaries were blocked. Her attempts to reconcile or manipulate were ignored. The social and professional consequences of her actions lingered, serving as a constant reminder of the power of truth and the cost of deception. I realized that the ultimate revenge isn't public humiliation or uncontrolled rage. It is control, preparation, and strategic action. By collecting king-size proof of her affair, waiting for the right moment, and taking deliberate steps to protect my life and my children, I ensured that justice was served in a way that was precise and lasting. Years later, the memory of discovering her betrayal is still vivid, but it no longer controls me. My children and I thrive in a life built on honesty, stability, and love. Vanessa's actions are a permanent part of her past, while my calm, calculated response secured our future. My jaw had dropped when I first saw her cheating, but my life remained intact. The king-size proof she left behind didn't just reveal her infidelity, it allowed me to reclaim my dignity, protect my family, and deliver a measured, complete revenge.